Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so did I have Ruth Kuttler on the line, and she's director and owner at Webpuzzlemaster Digital Marketing Agency. Ruth, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So excited about today's topics. A lot of entrepreneurs, executives, business owners watch this and they're looking for ideas. They're looking on tips and really thinking about how they can grow their business and brands and take them to the next level. And a topic like this, content marketing for customer retention, it's a big deal. And we'll go into that. But just to get us kicked off, we'll start this episode the way we start them all with our Mission Matters Minute. So, Ruth, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Ruth, what mission matters to you?
We work with businesses with a focus on local businesses to help them to capture more market share, increase their brand, leads, customers, and to use automation to not only increase customer retention, but also to acquire new customers with an ultimate goal of sustaining their business growth.
Yeah. Love bringing mission-based entrepreneurs and experts on the line to really share why they do what they do, like what gets them going, what keeps them motivated. So definitely great to have you on the show today and excited about the topic. But let's start out maybe a little bit further behind. So how did you get started on this path to like content marketing, content creation, and really just helping small businesses?
Well, I come from a healthcare background. I'm actually a former family nurse practitioner, and that was in another life. So I won't go into when, but I did that for quite a while.
I was a financial advisor in another life. We won't get into that one either, but go ahead, please.
But I was really having a crisis with my career for a lot of reasons, and I was looking for another job. And so one day I'm going through the newspaper and I see a poetry contest. And I wasn't a poet, trust me. I didn't even really like poetry, but I was a very gifted writer. And I thought, maybe if I write about what I'm feeling, God will tell me what he put me on this earth to do.
Yeah.
So I had a really amazing experience. For almost 3 weeks, Adam, I didn't put my pen down. I just wrote sometimes 12 to 14 hours, didn't do laundry, dishes, didn't get dressed. And what was coming out in my writing were ideas that I had never been exposed to through a mentor, teacher, a parent, ideas that were telling me to follow my heart, live my dreams, not worry about failure, ridicule, just to do what really made me feel was right for me. Yeah. And I thought about when I was happiest, and it was when I was 12 years old. And I taught art lessons in my parents' basement, had a waiting list. And I realized that I've always been an entrepreneur, always wanted to have my own business. And fortunately, I was married to a man who was very supportive. So when he came home after seeing the house in disarray for 3 weeks, and I told him, honey, I decided I'm not going to be a nurse anymore.
Wow.
And he said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, the internet, and you have to keep in mind, this is many, many years ago, but I said, the internet is going to change the world. It's in its infancy. Wow. And I want to go back to school and learn web design and help companies to build their business through the internet. And he was supportive. So that's what I did. And it was just the beginning. I started with a partner. I went to school for a year. And I started out with a partner for many years. And then in 2007, I founded Webpuzzlemaster digital marketing agency and went my separate ways. So it is my own business. I'm very experienced, and I love helping businesses, entrepreneurs, and local businesses to really, get a competitive edge. And now it is very competitive, not like it used to be.
What an amazing story. And I just love it because first off, that was divine intervention. I mean, to write that much and to be able to get that much emotion on just that much writing. I mean, that in itself is something else. Like, talk about getting a sign. But then you also had a lot of the things in order. So luckily you had, a support base that also helped and contributed. But that moment in time when you made that, let's just call it the initial pivot, right? From being a nurse practitioner to an entrepreneur. There's some people out there right now that are maybe going through some of those same types of things. So they're, just for context for everybody watching this into the future, we'll say, we're recording this in December of 2021. So, we're in tail end maybe of the pandemic, all the other things. There's a lot of people using that word nowadays, that pivot or moving, changing careers, whatever we want to call it. What kind of things would you say to them, Ruth? Obviously, taking yourself back into time a little bit, thinking about some of those initial moments. What kind of things would you say to them to maybe help them?
Well, I think you should always listen to your heart and follow your dreams, and not listen to other people who everyone has their own path. And what's right for your family, what they think. My mother always wanted to be a nurse. I became the nurse that she wanted to be, but it really wasn't my path. It wasn't right for me. Not that I didn't like helping people, because that's what I'm about, but not through nursing. So, but I think it's important too, to make sure that if you're just starting out, that you gravitate towards something that's going to do well, where there's not so much competition that you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Make sure that you have funds to capitalize your business, because without having a way to fund your business, you're not going to set yourself up for success. So those are some of I have some neighbors right now. They want to meet with me because they want to open a restaurant. Not a terribly good idea right now. I think the ones that are out there in light of the pandemic, a lot of them are struggling. So, to start and restaurants are the type of business, as you know, that have a high failure rate. So it's not something I would recommend.
So I'll stay kind of in your earlier days. And the reason why I want to talk about this a little bit longer is because I do want to establish some of your background in terms of your credibility. I mean, you were in on this stuff early, like before a lot of the things were even developed, and the things that you're using today, the tools that you're using and how you're helping your clients. Before even this stuff was invented, you were already in the game. So tell us a little bit just about kind of what you've seen from those initial website launching days, if you will.
Well, let me share a little story, because, this will illustrate what it was like back then. But
I love back then stories. I'm in, Ruth.
I got a call one day from this guy in Boston, in that area, and I'm in Florida. So he found me online, and he told me that he wanted SEO. And so I, found out a little bit about him, and I said, well, let me look at your website. So I did. And I realized that the website was pretty terrible. But I also found out that he was really all about quality. He was a contractor that really, he was all about giving very good service and quality products. And also, so I said, well, how are you getting your leads? And he said, well, I buy them. So that kind of told me his website wasn't doing anything for him. But also, so I said, well, how is that working for you? And he said, not well. So he said, every other contractor in my area is buying the same leads. Whoever gets to the customer quicker and cheaper is the one that gets the job. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, after looking at your website, you're not ready for SEO. And what I explained to him was that he needed a new website. He needed a new design. And in those days, we didn't have content management systems like WordPress. Everything was HTML. So they were independent pages on a website. There was no mobile marketing, no responsive design. People didn't have cell phones.
Some of the people watching this are young and they're like, wait a minute, pre-WordPress or pre, that was a thing? Yes, that was a thing. Continue, Ruth. I just had to put that out there.
Squarespace or Drupal or any of that. So, but, it was, it was relatively easy as far as writing new copy pages. But what I said to him was, now, what's going to happen, and I can't tell you whether it's going to be in days, weeks, or even months. But what's going to happen is you're going to start getting inquiries. And whether they're from a form or phone call, people are going to visit your website. They'll already be sold. You won't have to sell them. The site will do that for you. The only thing you'll have to do is close.
Yeah.
He says, when pigs fly.
A good contractor line. I'm in.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't worry about it. And, it had been a while and I was planning to follow up, but he beat me to it. And one day I get a phone call and he said, do you remember what you said to me? And I said to myself, oh my goodness, here it comes. He said, well, everything that you said was going to happen is exactly what's happened. Wow. He said, I used to be sitting here in the winter with no business. And now he said, there isn't a day that I'm not busy, that I'm not getting calls and people filling out my form. He said, it's just amazing. And I don't have to sell them. They're already sold.
Wow.
And they don't care about the money. They don't even care. They just want a contractor they can trust. And they know through my website that that's what they're going to get. Yeah. So that kind of tells you the difference. Now, he was on page one of Google a couple of days after I built that site. Now, that was because in those days, if you wrote a good site, if you wrote good content, and you optimized with the right keywords that were highly targeted and had good keywords, you could rank the site on page one and get that site in the top positions. But you know what? Nobody cared because they really didn't believe that was going to amount to anything for them. But what this contractor discovered was that it was paying off. And so that was a pretty powerful experience for me too, because it was just a validation of what the internet was going to become.
Yeah, it's a wonderful story. And let's progress a little bit further into today's topic. So the idea of content marketing for customer retention. So one of the things that you mentioned here and was that, first off, the website, the presence, the branding, not even getting into the technical part of things yet. Where should they start? Like what should people be thinking about as a beginning, so to speak?
Well, I think, most businesses understand that they do need a website. Yeah. I don't care how good your social media presence is and, whether you're on YouTube or you're not on YouTube. Yeah. The website is where most of your conversions are going to occur. It's where you can really set yourself apart. Establish yourself as being credible and different, unique, and having something to offer in your industry that is not being offered by your competitors. So a good quality website that is responsive, meaning that it provides an optimum experience, user experience for every user, whether they're on their phone, whether they're on an iPad in the vertical or the horizontal view, or a big web TV. They're going to have an optimum experience. So that's really crucial. But even before, you think if you don't have a website, even before you're planning to build one, you need to think about your brand. What is your unique selling position? What do you do? What are you offering? Who is your market? Who is your ideal customer? And how are you going to set yourself apart so that you make it instantly evident that you are their best choice? That's what I do. I work with businesses to help them navigate the strategies, but also the branding, and making sure that the brand, the messaging, the artwork, the whatever we do is consistent and powerful, and it's going to be high converting and emotionally compelling, because Adam, as you know, people respond based on their emotions.
For sure.
You definitely want to have content that really kind of pulls at their heartstrings and they can relate to. They get it right away. They see that whether it's a picture or a video, usually it's got to be a picture, even if it's a video, but the cover image has to be emotionally compelling.
Where do you find that, and I don't want to oversimplify this, and we're not picking on brands out here, but I know you've been doing this a long time. So where do you find a lot of brands or companies go wrong? Like you get a new client walks in the door and you're looking at stuff, and certain themes tend to arise time and time again. Where do you find a lot of brands go wrong in kind of completing this mission of I would argue of creating the correct brand, of getting it out distributed accurately, and retaining their clients? Like, where do people go wrong?
Mostly they go wrong, everywhere.
I knew that was a loaded question. I was like, I don't want to but you get what I'm saying, right? It's not that somebody wants to do wrong work. Like, it's not saying that it's like your heart's in the right place.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go.
I have a client right now, and she's very high end. She does precast manufacturing. But, when we started this project and you went to her Facebook page, the messaging was wrong. The LinkedIn page, I don't really care about that. Well, guess what? You need to. The messaging was not right. The artwork she had. Now, let me give you a little example with her. She had this website, and this is this company that's producing. Her clients are like the Ritz-Carlton and Disney and Sandals. You get my drift, right? And where is the client list on this existing site? It's buried. You wouldn't even find it. So what is she? Instead of attracting a B2B market, architects, builders, landscape designers, the people that she wants to attract, that's who she wants to get as clients. Instead of that, she's attracting homeowners who she doesn't want. So that was a big problem. And I told her that right away. The other thing was she didn't have artwork that really was showcasing the work that they were doing. I'm just beautiful. I mean, you get a picture of Cinderella's castle and the stairs going up to it. Or, this gorgeous pool at a resort. You're going to really get right away how, the quality of what they do. But you had to dig on that website. Now we redid the site. She has an absolutely gorgeous site. Told me the other day, we just started their SEO because it's a new site. Told me the other day, she said, you would not believe how many jobs they're getting already from every kind of jobs. already that they're getting because of the work that we did. So that's a good example.
Amazing. Let's shift gears a bit here. I want to go further into a Webpuzzlemaster. So you mentioned some of the things you do, but let's go further. So tell us some more about your agency.
Well, at our agency, we do basically all digital marketing, meaning all the services that you would need to have a strong online presence. So, we start with strategic planning, branding. Then we, obviously go into the graphic design and website development. And then marketing, all of the different types of marketing and video. So those are things that we have really mastered. And most other digital marketing agencies, they don't do that. They may outsource all of that. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't bring in vendors that are highly skilled. I have a team, and they are highly skilled, and we've worked together for quite a while. So we know each other, understand each other, and there's a real commitment to, working on projects and not where one is doing something and the others don't know about it and maybe are sabotaging. Not that they intend to, but that happens, and you see that a lot. So we know that SEO is extremely important to a project right from the beginning. When you're thinking about doing a project, you have to define your ideal market, and then the keyword research is really critical. You need to find out who, how competitive, what terms are best, and also what terms you can use where you can probably rank that site a lot quicker and a lot more inexpensively and still drive in the right market. So, those are some of the things that we know that if we're going to build a website, we're going to create content for online, we have to start with keywords and SEO. And whether that's for video, websites, even social media, that's kind of where we start, and the planning is really critical. So, I would rather spend time with a prospect and make sure that it's a good fit for them and for me and for my company. And even if I'm giving them free consulting, I would rather start out that way. And that's very unusual. Most digital marketing agencies, I'm blown away by how many people tell me, oh my God, you just taught me so much. And I've other companies and they don't want to spend the time of day with me, until I give them money. And I said, well, it's a relationship that I would rather invest in and make sure that it's going to be a good fit for both of us, because I care about results. If I don't get results, then I don't want to do the project. So it's not about the money for me. It's really about, whether it's a good fit for both of us.
Tell me about the importance of design when it comes into the website process, because I feel like when you're working with a company like yours versus another, like that idea of a custom design and what you're doing is just different. Most entrepreneurs that have launched websites, unless they've done something on a larger scale, let's say, they've never been through quite a process like that and don't necessarily know what goes into the design aspect.
The design is very important. And each industry, starting with colors, the colors that you use for a particular industry are really important. So, you want to make sure that the logo is integrated and it's the proper logo. If it's not a good logo and it doesn't really convey the right message with the right artwork, the right tagline, things like that, it can actually compromise the project and create the wrong message right out of the gate. But the design, the graphics need to be very high quality, like I said, emotionally compelling. But also the website needs to be created in such a way that it's navigatable. I hope that's a good word.
That's a word. I use it.
Okay. The last thing you want to do is send somebody to a website where they get lost in the site, or they're presented with multiple conversions for the same page. They need to know without question when they land on a page what this is about, that it's for them, and it needs to grab them, engage them, and lead them to where the conversion is, and give them incentives to take that step, not to just click off. And even if the conversion is to get them to opt into a list, because the last thing you want to do is lose a motivated prospect. Once they jump off that site, they're on to the next site and you lose them. So you want strategies in place where you can get them to convert. And that often requires some kind of incentive. It could be a free report, a white paper. It could be a discount, a free consultation, whatever it is that they're going to want. It has to be something of value to them. Yeah. And it gets them to, okay, I'm going to give up my email. And these days, you hopefully want them to give up their mobile phone number so that you can get them into an SMS list.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you've also created a proprietary WordPress software. So tell us a little bit about that.
I'm really excited about, I actually have two types of software. Both are really designed to, well, let me tell you about the gallery first. It's a multimedia gallery. But, when you think of a gallery, you think of, okay, well, they're dime a dozen, right? You put your pictures in, and, if you're lucky, you get to put in video too.
Yeah.
But that's about the extent of it. Well, this gallery is designed to boost profits, conversions, designed for sharing. But instead of just sharing, like let's say you open up an item of content and it has Facebook and Twitter share. Well, you go and you share, it's going to actually produce that item of content in the Facebook. So let's say the business wants to share this with their own Facebook page. They can populate their Facebook page or their Twitter feed with all the content from the gallery. But unlike most of the time when you do a share, let's say you're sharing a YouTube video, you're sending people to YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Never see them again in many cases.
For sure.
In this case, doesn't work that way. When the content is shared, like a YouTube video, it sends them, when they click, back to the website. That's where they're going to watch that video.
Oh, wow.
So now instead of going to YouTube, it's on your site. And also it has created a backlink, which is very important for SEO. So that works for both Twitter and Facebook. Now you can also build your YouTube subscribers without losing any contact with the website. People can click a button to go to YouTube, your YouTube channel.
Wow.
And subscribe. And they can also leave comments. When they close out of that, they're back on the gallery item. Now, here's what's most exciting. There's a unique call to action for each item of content that you share, that you put in this gallery. So maybe you put in an item of content, beautiful picture, or you put in a video, whatever it is. Now you can have a button that says click to call, click to call or text.
Oh, wow.
So it can send people directly to where they can call you. Or you might want them to buy a product. So you say, buy now.
Yeah.
Or you might want them to book an appointment or, get our free report, download free report, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And with the content and your description, which can also include hashtags and geotags, now you're driving more content right to the gallery, to the content on your website, where people have a really good chance of converting. And that's why I'm really excited. Now,
kind of like, to me, it sounds like you're turbocharging the content right here, because a lot of the things you're doing, you're creating backlinks, you're adding, you're keeping people on your site. It's got a great design, of course, for sharing. I mean, this is just, you got a lot of benefits here that long-term, you can see how those benefits would work, like, especially with keeping the traffic there and then with creating the backlinks, like that's a big deal.
Yeah. And you buy it once and you get updates for life. Wow. I don't know if we're going to keep it that way, but right now, for the time being, that's the way it is. And we're even giving a 40% discount.
Wow.
It's very affordable. So, and it's ideal for industries that are already creating a lot of compelling content, like the food industry and real estate, home improvements and beauty. I mean, they're already creating this content. Why not repurpose it, put it in the gallery, and really, just supercharge your website and conversions? So we have that. The other software that we created, which is ideal for retaining customers, is SMS in WordPress. Now, there's other SMS WordPress plugins, but let me tell you what they don't have that we do. First of all, you can only build a single list. With our software, you can build as many lists as you want. So you might have a separate list for customers, for customer loyalty, for, people that are interested in a particular service. Like, let's say you're in real estate and you want sales, like sell your property. You want property management as another list. Maybe you want rentals as another list. So this way you can target your messaging, your offers, whatever you're putting in that SMS to those particular prospects. Now, you can also import. If you have a list, it's a permission-based list, you can import. Or, and this is what the other plugins don't do, you can create an opt-in form. It's beautiful. You can design it very simply right from the software, make it color coordinated with your design, put it on any page or post. And besides that, you can offer an incentive to get them to opt in, and you can manage that right in the software.
Wow.
So it's really, really cool. We also have a birthday form. Who doesn't like a free gift on their birthday? Do you know anybody?
Like one. I want one.
So you can add that. It doesn't even have to be something you give away. You make a deal with a restaurant to offer a free meal, or whatever they want to offer. It helps build their brand. They get business. Nobody goes to a restaurant by themselves. Do you know anybody who does? I don't.
Doesn't happen, especially on their birthday. Benihana's. I mean, come on. I remember that one from when I was a kid.
So from this software, you can create a form. You just enter your birthday, month and day, and automatically you're in this list, which you can use now to send them whatever your offers you want them to be. And on their birthday, automatically they're going to get that offer for the happy birthday. It's your birthday. Now, the other thing that this software does that none of the other software for SMS does, we even created an HTML coupon generator.
Oh, wow.
So HTML means that when they open up their SMS and they get this coupon, they can click on it and they can go to where, and there can be a coupon code there. Maybe you want to give them a discount. So it sends them directly to where they buy that product, put the coupon code in, or sends them to where they opt into a list or whatever you want them to book the appointment, whatever it is that you want them to do. So that's a little bit about our easy SMS blaster. And you can learn about these products on webpuzzlemaster.com. You can get good, easy access to all of our products and the other services that we provide.
Mm. And one of the things that I love about just your practice, so your firm, Webpuzzlemaster, is that if you notice a theme throughout this whole interview, and you might not even notice it, Ruth, because you just live this. I know this is where you come from. This is ingrained in you, and your heart is with the entrepreneur. But you're all about the conversion. Like, you're talking about seeing results from your work. So even in your softwares that you're designing, like the way you describe them to me, it's like coupon code. This is how you convert. This is why it was done in HTML. Like all of these different things that you're mentioning, they're all focused on the conversion. They're all focused on like, how are you going to get results for your clients? And I feel like that's unique. It's not just branding. Not saying that there's anything wrong with branding, by the way. But I just mean like, it's not just branding. It's like saying, how do you drive the end result for your clients? That's what I'm hearing throughout this entire interview.
Absolutely. If we don't get results, then it's not personally satisfying for us, but that's also why we don't want to just take anyone on as a client. We need to work with people who want those results and are going to become our partners, so to speak. And they're going to do their part. Now it doesn't mean that we're going to dump a bunch of things that they have to do. They can hire us to do what they don't want to do. But if they want to do it themselves, then it can't be something they back burner. And, when we get to it, we'll get to it. Because that's not going to get results for them. So, that is very important, though, getting results, everything.
And another service that you offer is managed hosting. I felt like this was pretty unique as well. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Hosting is so important, and most businesses, when they have a website built, they go to a company, or even if it's an agency, who just hosts the site wherever the client wants the site hosted. Very seldom are they going to continue to manage the site? So they don't really care if it's on GoDaddy or HostGator or one of those really ultra cheapy servers. But you get what you pay for, and your website is your most important real estate investment for your marketing. That's what I meant to say. It is most important. So you don't want to find out usually it happens because you're not paying attention to your site, but one of your customers lets you know, I found out there's a warning that says that your site has been hacked. Your site has been blacklisted. Did you know that? And, sometimes by then you got a real problem, because even those servers that back up, they only back up about maybe 3-4 days. So, if that happened before that, if that happened during that window of backup, you're just going to back up a site that's in trouble. So we saw things like that happen early on. As WordPress became very popular, so did hacking. So
that's a good way to put it.
Well, that's what happened. And blacklisting too, because what Google doesn't want is a hacked site in their directory. So what they do is they put up those warnings, and now you're in trouble, because you got to hire somebody who is going to be able to go into your site and troubleshoot and get rid of all the bad code, whatever malicious garbage has been added and restore it. And it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Trust me. And then they're going to have to deal with the blacklisting. So they're going to have to know how to do that. What we do, what we started to do, and we don't take everyone, and again, because some people just don't take care of their websites,
Right.
have come to us and they have a mess. They have all kinds of malware on their site they don't even know about. And the last thing I want to do is host a site that's loaded with, dangerous code. So what we do is, if it's a good fit, then we will take the site over. And if it's a project that we're developing, we always recommend that they host with us and they allow us to manage it. And what we do is it's really turnkey service as far as we keep them up to date with their WordPress, all of their software. Yeah. We make sure that there's no incompatibilities. And if there are, we troubleshoot them and correct them. Yeah. But as far as we maintain a separate firewall. Yeah. That scans the site every 12 hours, looks for any malicious code, gives us alerts if there's anything that's not right, and so that we can get support. And as far as blacklisting, we support that. We get all that taken care of so that we're protecting that asset that is so important to a business's success, their website. And that's what managed hosting is about. There's more information on my website, webpuzzlemaster.com. And it's really a small price to pay to safeguard your website.
Totally. Totally get it. And I love it because now, especially if they're working with you on the web, on the web design and everything in the first place, it's just turnkey. It makes sense. And then you don't have to worry about that going forward, which one less thing to worry about. Like they want somebody like you as their advocate there and for their digital presence and their digital real estate, we'll say. So that's awesome. So Ruth, I mean, this has been fun. It's been great getting you on the show and learning more about your business, your journey, how you're helping business owners. So that being said, I have to ask, so what's next? I mean, what's next for you? What's next for the company?
Well, obviously I'm looking to scale my business. So, growing, but also one thing that has really set me apart and will continue to is to follow trends. Things change. I mean, look at all the changes that have come about because of the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
And, just the need for more virtual. Yeah. Businesses have to adapt. And so I've always been, the head of the game as far as following those trends when, before mobile became, even before Google required that you had a mobile-friendly website, we made a commitment to convert everything to responsive. So that, we were one of the first to do that. Many of the companies that I went to, and developers, they didn't even know what responsive design was. They said, oh, yeah, we do that, but they didn't. Yeah. They didn't know what it meant. So it's staying up on the trends and helping people to get the most value from their digital experiences through those trends and, making sure our strategies really make sense for, the people that we serve.
It's awesome. So if somebody's watching this right now and they want to learn more about Webpuzzlemaster or follow your journey and your work, I mean, what's the best way for them to do that?
The best way is to visit our website. It's very, very easy to book a free appointment. It's a 30-minute strategy session, totally free and just filled with very valuable information. It will give you an analysis of what you're doing online, what you're doing well, what you're doing that could be improved, and really taking into consideration your needs, your budget, your goals, everything that we need to know if we are a good fit.
Yeah. Fantastic. And we'll put all of those, the links and all that stuff in the show notes so that my audience can just go check it out and check out your work, of course. And just want to say, Ruth, it really has been a pleasure having you on the show today and learning more about your journey and your business. And again, how you're helping small business owners. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time with Mission Matters, we bring on our guests, our business owners, entrepreneurs, executives. They're mission-based. They're out there trying to make a difference. They're adding value to the marketplace and to their customers' lives. And that's who we like to showcase. If that's content that you're into, hit that subscribe button because we have many more mission-based entrepreneurs coming on, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Ruth, it really has been a pleasure. Thanks again for coming on the show.
It's been my pleasure, Adam. Thank you for having me.